Thank you for joining me for this balanced, focused flow. We're going to move deeper into some twisting movement. And we're going to go ahead and get started lying down. So we're going to start off as relaxed as possible. So meeting you in the most comfortable recline place. So taking your back all the way down to the floor and just allowing the head and shoulders to relax back. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to draw the knees all the way into the chest. And we're going to start by waking up all the muscles through the core with some gentle reclined twists. So taking the arms to cactus, so the elbows are around about shoulder height and the fingertips point backwards. As you exhale, we're going to lower the knees over to the right, allowing everything to soften into place. And then with the next inhale, lifting the knees all the way back into center. You want to lift with your core, right? So you always end up pressing down a little bit through the arms, but we're looking to find that lift through the core. So as you exhale, we're going to roll the knees over to the left and then squeezing to lift them all the way back into center. Exhaling over to the right and then inhaling all the way back in. As you exhale, they're coming over to the left and then breathing in, squeezing all the way back up to the middle. We're going to take one more dip either side, rolling all the way over to one side and then squeezing to lift back into the middle, rolling over to the other side and then squeezing to lift all the way back into center, wrapping the arms around the knees. And from here, if you take the hands behind the hamstrings, we're going to find a little bit of a rock and roll along the length of the spine. And from here, you want to build up enough momentum and switch on the core so that eventually you can roll all the way up to Navasana. So we're looking to extend the legs long and squeeze the tummy to keep everything lifted. And sometimes you can take the hands out in front, rolling the shoulders back, breathing in deeply. As you exhale, we're going to draw the knees into the chest. So we're looking to take the shins around about parallel to the floor, reaching the fingertips forwards, squeezing the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, we're going to send the feet forwards and the shoulders back, but they don't quite land. And then as you exhale, we're going to squeeze to draw everything back up to center. Inhaling to lower, exhaling, drawing everything in, breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. One more round as you inhale, lowering, exhaling all the way back up to the top. And from here, we're going to take our left hand to the outside edge of the right foot. So taking hold of the foot with the hand, and you've got a deep bend at the knees here. As you inhale, we're going to press the left foot away, reaching the right hand behind and squeezing all the muscles down the side, rolling that right shoulder back. So there's a big squeeze through the back to turn you open to the right. One more deep breath here. As you exhale, drawing all the way back to that central spot. And this time we're going to take the right hand to the outside edge of the left foot. And with a big inhale, pressing the left heel forwards and rolling the left shoulder back. So the longer you stay in the pose, you might find you get a little bit more twist at the waist and a little bit more squeeze through that left shoulder blade to draw you all the way around to the left. One more deep breath here. And then as you exhale, drawing back to center, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, finding a place where you can take the peace fingers around the big toes. And then maybe as you inhale, extending the legs long and pressing through the heels, finding that little bit of lift through the chest and a little bit of length through the legs. One more really deep inhale at the very top. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees, sinking the heels all the way down to the floor. If we release the feet, we're going to take the hands down in front Shuffling the knees behind, finding our way back to a neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. As you inhale, we're going to lift the chest and the tailbone to cow. Exhaling, tucking the chin, lifting the spine to cat. Finding all those little cat-cow movements here that just allow you to wriggle any tension out of the shoulders, the spine, the hips. Then when it feels possible, we're going to tuck the toes, and with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back and up into downward facing dog. As always, finding all the pedals, wriggles and shuffles that make it feel that little bit more possible. And then when it feels like a good option, we're going to see about sweeping the right foot all the way up. We're squeezing the glutes to take that foot as high as it'll go. Exhaling, stepping the right foot forwards, landing it in between the hands or thereabouts, right? So we're reaching back through that left foot, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then when you're ready, rooting down through the right foot, sweeping the arms high, lifting up into high lunge. Taking a little moment here to just find the balance. And we're going for the big step through, okay? So drawing a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to take the weight forwards into the standing foot, the right one. Drawing the left knee all the way up in front. Breathing in deeply. As you exhale, we're going to take the hands down towards the hips. Rolling the shoulders back. From here, we're going to take the left peace fingers to wrap around that left big toe. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest. So the hip is going to open here a little bit to the left. So you can see my knee kind of sinks out to the left. As you inhale, we're going to extend that left leg long. So the foot presses out in front, reaching through the heel, drawing a deep breath in through the nose and releasing a full exhale. Oh, it's super windy up here on the roof today. So finding the balance, rooting down through the standing foot. And from here, we're going to take our right hand one more time to the outside edge of that left foot. And when it feels possible, as you inhale, sweeping the left hand behind, slowly leaning into that twist, turning the body to the left, reaching back through the left fingers, pressing forwards through the left foot. One last really deep inhale, and then with the next exhale, we're going to turn back towards the front, releasing the foot down towards the floor. As you inhale, sweeping the arms high, and as you exhale, folding forwards, bending the knees, landing the hands and stepping the feet back to plank. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to lower. Inhaling, lifting the chest to upward facing dog, and then with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back and up into downward facing dog. Taking all the pedals, wriggles and shuffles here that make it feel somewhat possible. From here, we're going to sweep the left foot all the way up to the ceiling, squeezing the glutes to take it as high as it'll go. And as you exhale, stepping the left foot all the way forwards, landing it in between the hands, finding all the little wriggles and shakes that it takes to sink you down into that runner's lunge, pressing back through the right heel and rooting down through the sole of the left foot. Eventually lifting up into high lunge. And we want to keep it a really active high lunge, right? So we're reaching back through the right heel and we're sinking down really deeply into that left knee. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose, lifting the chest, reaching through the fingers. And if we go for the big step through, then with a big exhale, we're going to draw the right knee forwards and up, finding the balance Maybe first taking the hands to the hips, right? So rolling the shoulders back, taking the peace fingers on the right hand and wrapping them around the big toe. So finding that place where the knee just kind of sinks out to the side just a little bit. Sometimes there's a little bend in the standing leg, and that usually makes it all feel a little bit more steady, right? But as you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg long, lifting the toe and pressing through that right heel, drawing a deep breath in through the nose and releasing a full exhale. And maybe this is where you stay, right? Just practicing the balance. Sometimes that's already more than enough of a challenge. Or taking our left hand to the outside edge of the right foot. We're going to release the right hand and then slowly, as you inhale, turning to reach the right hand behind. If you take the gaze to something steady, that usually helps with the balance. And with every exhale, we're allowing that big twist at the waist to deepen. One last deep breath here. As you exhale, we're going to release the foot, turning back towards the front, breathing in, sweeping the arms high, exhaling, folding forwards, tucking the chin. Here we go, bending the knees, landing the hands, and stepping the feet back to plank. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to lower. Inhaling, lifting the chest to upward facing dog. Exhaling, lifting the hips, tucking the toes, sending the hips all the way back and up into our downward facing dog. And one last time, taking a little pedal of the legs, all the little wriggles and shuffles, before exhaling, walking the hands back towards the feet, meeting in our forward fold. And from here, we're going to heel toe the feet as wide as the mat with the toes pointing out. And as you exhale, we're going to sink the hips down in between the legs. So we're making our way down into our Malasana squat, right? And if you take the palms to prayer here and use the knees to press the elbows out, sometimes that just helps relieve any tension through the hips. But when you're ready, we're going to take the hands behind, sinking the hips down, taking the legs out in front, and making our way back down to that reclined place that we started in. But this time, we're going to draw the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg long. So maybe just allowing the head and the shoulders to rest down, drawing a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to roll that left knee over to the right and taking all the little wriggles and shuffles that it takes so that you can sink down into a place that you could stay for a few moments. And it doesn't need to look any particular way, right? It's just a big twist at the waist. That's what we're really looking for. So maybe one shoulder is a little bit lifted. Maybe the knee just kind of hovers in midair, right? All of those things are perfectly allowed. Taking one last deep breath here. And then as you exhale, we're going to draw that left knee all the way back up into the chest, rolling onto the back. Taking one last little squeeze, maybe a little rock. And then if we swap the knees over, we're going to draw the right knee in close and just allow the left leg to relax down onto the mat. Filling the belly with the inhale. As you exhale, rolling that right knee over to the left. And again, just taking all those little wriggles and shuffles, all the extra little moves that it takes to find that place. They could stay for a few moments, allowing the hands and the feet to relax entirely, and the head just resting back. So we've done a lot of twisting movement, but this one should ideally feel the most relaxing. If you take one last really deep inhale here, and as you exhale, we're going to draw that right knee back into the chest. And then when you're ready, laying the legs long, finding your way down into your most comfortable, relaxing place, taking a few moments there to rest.